This video is for entertainment purposes only. All photos have been found in the public domain and are fair use and fair dealing. Hello, it is Monday the 12th of August, and this weekend news broke that there had been a very tense meeting between both Harry and Meghan and William and Kate. It's been speculated that this feud between the two couples started after last May's royal wedding, after Harry criticised his brother and his sister-in-law for not supporting his new bride. According to the Mail on Sunday, the Duke of Sussex started a showdown with Prince William and Kate Middleton and read them the riot act one evening after their kids had gone to bed. Apparently, Wills and Kate were taken completely by surprise, and Meghan is thought to have maintained a stony silence throughout the speech. So yet again, Meghan narrates a story to Harry that she's feeling vilified to try and convince him that she's the wounded party. But is she? This isn't the first time that she's played this narrative. Remember at the beginning of their relationship? All was well until Harry released that very rare statement on the 8th of November 2016. He blasted the media for crossing a line and stated that his then girlfriend had been subjected to a wave of abuse and harassment. He claimed that some of it had been hidden from the public, nightly legal battles to keep defamatory stories out of the papers, her mother having to struggle past photographers in order to get to her front door, and attempts of reporters and photographers to try and gain entry illegally to her home, and calls to the police that followed. He claims that substantial bribes were offered by papers to ex-boyfriends, the bombardment of nearly every friend, co-worker and loved one in her life. Hold up. Bombardment. Just before this statement was released, she posted a couple of bananas spooning. I don't think that's somebody wanting seclusion. Do you? That's somebody who's wanting to let her little secret out. So I've obviously done a little bit of digging, and I can see that police and private security had guarded her home in November 2016, and palace sources added that police had to be called after a photographer allegedly barged into her garage in Toronto. Now, this is the only thing that I can find on this, and I've searched really hard on the internet. Toronto police said the actress had called them to her home. There is no proof that anyone was actually seeking her out and hounding her. The important word here is alleged, and that word was actually used by the palace. So was this a case of over-exaggeration? It seems a little excessive, especially since then she went to very publicly announce this relationship in Vanity Fair quite a few months later, but she still made that very public declaration. A tabloid source who worked at the Sun newspaper said Harry's communications team failed to offer any guidance when the report emerged in the Sunday Express. They had 3 days to stop this story, they said. Any decent press office would have put out a statement saying that they were in a relationship, saying that they have the right to privacy, and that would have been that. But they didn't. A source at the Daily Mail said that they were bewildered by Harry's reference to harassment, bribes and crossing a line. They said that they did not know what his communication staff were referring to. Kate Nicholl, a royal correspondent for the Mail on Sunday, said if he really wanted this to go away, then there's one or two things that he could have done. You give the press what they want, you make a statement, or you give an interview, or issue a picture. We all know how these tabloids operate. Give them a picture. It doesn't have to be a very good one, but give them one, and they will go quiet. They give them what they want. They won't hound. So was it all an exaggeration then? But was this driven by Harry or by Meghan? Look at these photos showing Meghan with her security presence after the story broke. She looks terribly traumatised, doesn't she? You can see the worry on her face. If you hadn't have guessed, that was good old British sarcasm. Thank you very much. So the fact that Harry confronted William and Kate and Meghan sat there in stony silence throughout leads me to think that yet again she was the manipulator and played that poor little me card. Do you think this was when William and Kate decided that they couldn't work with them within the Royal Foundation? After Harry issued the ill-advised warning to the press when Meghan claimed the media bothered her in Toronto, it's easy to imagine gullible Harry reading the Riot Act to the Cambridges while Meghan pulls the strings. He's totally under her control and complicit in doing her bidding. Meghan seems to excel in causing trouble within families. First her own, now our royals. We've seen in all of those photos that Meghan glaring at Kate. It's quite menacing that someone can have such venom, and they are truly disturbing. Personally, I'm amazed that the press never actually pick up on these little tells that Meghan gives about her true nature. I read a very telling comment on the Daily Mail comment section. A narcissist always wants to be the corpse at every funeral, the bride at every wedding, and the baby at every christening. This is what narcissists do best, turning close family against each other. She's no doubt played the victim nicely and wound Harry up to speak to William and Kate, then sits back and watches the fireworks with a smirk on her face. It's a classic narcissistic move. Kate had only just given birth to Louis after the wedding, yet everybody must make sure his new wife feels welcome. If Meghan was such a feminist, then why didn't she say how she felt instead of making Harry read out the Riot Act? She's supposed to be this strong, independent woman, yet she passive-aggressively whinges to Harry about not being supported and then makes him do her bidding. I can just imagine Markle maintaining this stony silence, but I bet her inner smugness was beaming while secretly really enjoying seeing Harry's outburst with his brother, because the more people she alienates from him, the less he has, and the more he has to cling to her, making him completely dependent and isolated. It would be hard to support somebody who joins any family with no intention of fitting in and wanted to do things their own way. In an ordinary family, it may cause some friction, but being accepted into royalty comes with a certain amount of responsibility. She made it clear from the start that she would just ignore advice and protocol, even with the small things like wearing hosiery or dressing correctly for the occasion. And Harry can hardly complain if other family members distance themselves from such an arrogant woman. Meghan has treated members of the royal family and its traditions with the utmost disdain and contempt since becoming a member by marriage. I think both Harry and Meghan have forgotten that William will inherit his father's title when Charles is king, and thus become the Duke of Cornwall when in England and the Duke of Rothesay when in Scotland, while Kate will take the same titles but as a duchess. The couple will also most likely have another title. While many assume that William will become the new Prince of Wales as first in line to the throne, this title is actually not hereditary. It's given to the heir apparent, but at the discretion of the sovereign. The Queen didn't actually name Charles as the Prince of Wales until he was 9 years old. It's safe to say that William will be given the title, but not within the first few weeks of Charles's reign. But when he does, Kate will become HRH, the Princess of Wales. Being Duke of Cornwall entitles Prince William and his wife to the enormous estate holdings of the Duchy of Cornwall, which for centuries has supplied finance to the monarch's eldest son, unlike the Principality of Wales, which is merely a title. Basically, this means William will hold the purse strings for Meghan and Harry. Maybe this is why these two are trying to forge a brand Sussex and put that copyright stamp everywhere. How has this lapse in royal succession respect been forgotten? So I beg to ask the question, has something happened to the Queen and her ability to take control? She didn't hesitate to curtail both Fergie and Diana when they threatened the monarchy with their actions. Yet Meghan appears to have free rein to create havoc and behave disrespectfully, ignoring tradition, protocols, and words of wisdom from those that know the system. I don't know, maybe she's passed the control reins on to Charles to see how he copes. Harry's constant scowling and complaining about anyone not worshipping Meghan is embarrassing. There's no stopping the line of succession, and William and Kate will be king and queen consort one day. They will be crowned, yes, crowned, in separate ceremonies. You and your wife will continue with your little engagements for the British public, kissing up to hangers-on celebrities who, without your HRH titles, wouldn't normally give you the time of day. There have been reports that both William and his grandfather, Prince Philip, question Markle's suitability. If this story is true about Harry reading the riot act to William and Kate, then it further shows his spoiled immaturity. It's not William and Kate's problem that Harry decided to marry an American actress with delusions of grandeur. They have responsibilities and children of their own, and weren't going to drop everything to show Meghan the ropes. Sisters-in-law aren't usually best friends. They're cordial, yes. Harry and Meghan both need to grow up and figure out how to handle what they've gotten themselves into by themselves. So my question is to you, does Meghan always get what she wants? Or is this the start of the media finally cottoning on to her narcissistic ways? What do you guys think of this alleged outburst between them? Do you think it's fair? Should they be supported? Or do you think it's just Harry throwing yet another tantrum again? Let me know what you think. As always, thank you very much for watching. If you've liked this video, please click that button, click subscribe and click the notification bell. And I shall be back very soon. Thank you very much for watching.